There is a kind of courage the world rarely talks about. Not the courage of soldiers on battlefields, not the courage of heroes in movies, but the quiet, trembling, terrifying courage of an ordinary person who looks at a life that was never meant for them and decides, I am going to change this. This is that story. Her name was Amara. She grew up in a small town where the roads were dusty and the dreams were small, not because the people lacked intelligence, not because they lacked heart, but because nobody had ever shown them that something bigger was possible. In Amara's family, the path was already drawn: finish school, find a safe job, get married young, stay close to home. Don't ask too many questions. Don't reach too far. Stay within what you know. Her relatives said, the world outside is not for people like us. And for 19 years, Amara believed them. But something lived inside her that refused to be quiet, a fire, small at first, like an ember, buried under ash. But it was there. She would stay up late reading about women who had built businesses from nothing, women who had crossed oceans with only a dream in their pocket, women who had been told no so many times that the word lost all its power over them, and with every story she read, the ember grew, until one night, at the age of 20, sitting in a room with no electricity, reading by the light of a small candle, Amara made a decision that would divide her life into two clear halves. Before that night, and after, she decided to apply for a business grant. Now you must understand what this meant. She had no connections, no mentor, no one in her family who had ever written a business proposal, no laptop, no printer, no money for transport. She had an idea, a notebook, and a courage that even she didn't fully understand yet. The people around her heard her plan and laughed, not cruel laughter, the laughter of people who genuinely believed they were protecting her from embarrassment. You, a grad, those things are for educated people in the city. You don't have experience. You don't have connections. Why risk the humiliation, Amara? Just be realistic. Here is what nobody tells you about courage. Courage does not feel like strength in the moment. It feels like fear. It feels like your hands shaking as you write, your voice cracking when you speak, your mind screaming 100 reasons to stop, while something deeper, quieter, and wiser whispers just one reason to continue. Because if not you, who? If not now, when? Amara heard that whisper, and she chose it over the noise. She borrowed a neighbor's phone. She typed her proposal on a borrowed laptop at a local library. She walked 4 kilometers to submit the application because she had no money for transport. 4 kilometers, in the heat, with rejection already waiting for her at the door of her own mind. She submitted the application, and then she waited. 30 days passed, nothing. The voices came back louder. See, we told you. You wasted your time. Now can you go back to being realistic? On the 32nd day, she got a message. She had not just been accepted. She had been selected as one of 10 finalists out of over 4,000 applicants across the country. Let that number sink in. 4,000 people. And Amara, the girl from the dusty road, the girl with no connections, the girl they laughed at, was standing in the final 10. She didn't win that year, but something far more valuable happened. The judges called her personally. They told her her idea was brilliant. They connected her with a mentor. They invited her to a national entrepreneurship summit, fully sponsored, in one room. At that summit, Amara met the people who would invest in her business 2 years later. Today, Amara runs a business that employs 23 people in the same small town where she was told to stay small. She did not move to the city. She brought opportunity back home. And every year she holds a free workshop for young girls in her community, teaching them how to write proposals, build ideas, and most importantly, how to take the risk no one else dared to take. I need you to hear this next part carefully, because This story is not just about Amara. This story is about the idea sitting quietly in your chest right now that you have been too afraid to speak out loud. The business you keep saying one day. The application you keep saying I'm not ready. The phone call you keep saying maybe tomorrow. The life you keep saying people like me don't get that. Can I tell you something? People like you are exactly who that life was made for. Not the fearless ones. Not the perfectly qualified ones. Not the ones with all the right connections and all the right resources. The ones who are scared and move anyway. The ones who are unqualified and learn along the way. The ones who have every reason to stay small and choose to grow anyway. Risk is not the enemy of security. Playing it safe forever is, because a life lived entirely inside the walls of comfort is not safety, it is a slow, quiet surrender of everything you were born to become. Amara did not have perfect conditions. She had a candle, a notebook, and a decision, and that was enough. So today, not tomorrow, not Monday, not when things are better today. Write the proposal. Send the email. Make the call. Submit the application. Start the business. Take the class. Speak the dream out loud. Take the risk. The one nobody around you has the courage to take. Because on the other side of that risk is not just success. It is the fullest, truest, most powerful version of you.